Hello everybody, Ian Robson here. Welcome back to Dirt Rally. Today we're working with, I think it's the F2 kit cars. This is the front wheel drive cars here. We're going to see if we can't do alright in this race. Now, I am not very good at the front wheel drive cars, for whatever reason, because I've been driving like rear wheel drive cars for the last little while in the game. So let's see how we do. This is actually one of the league events. So I'm actually in the league with one of the other patrons, and this is what we try to beat each other. There's only two of us, so it's basically me against him, basically. So let's see how we do today in this. This is, I believe, Wales. 4. If I had to guess.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Go. 60 over crest.
Now, one of the things that you have to be aware about with this particular thing is that with the front-wheel drive cars, they actually act a lot differently than the rear-wheel drive cars. If you put your foot down, they'll really pull you towards that direction, which is really strange. Well, I guess I would call it maybe torque steer, might be the word they would say. But you definitely notice it in these cars more than the other cars, I found at least. So like, you can't really put your foot down around corners in the same way you could with like a rear-wheel drive car, because the front end will pull towards the direction of your travel. Not necessarily the way their wheels are turning, so at least it's been my experience. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, so that's what can happen if you don't pay attention. Doesn't take much in this game, so that's where you really got to pay attention to those calls. Because if you don't, that's exactly what will happen. That wasn't a big mistake, but it was big enough, so I just fell on the wrong side of the. I fell on the wrong side of the. I don't even call that there. The little drop off. So that's all happens. And because I had to reset the car, I basically lost 13 seconds. So it's unlikely that I'm going to win this race now, just because of that one little mistake. So if I were doing that, like one of the leagues, I definitely would not win the race because of that. So it's always little things, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa! See, I don't know what it is about these cars. I'm just not very good at racing these ones. It's weird because I'm just used to the other cars and the way they handle a bit differently. Now this is a Peugeot in the F2 kit cars, and that might be part of the reason why. It's been my experience that the Peugeots tend to be a little crazier than the other cars. So there we go. And now that I've lost my lights, it's going to make it a little bit more interesting to try and finish this course without running into things. Often I find sometimes it's better to it's better to like just brake instead of trying to recover from what you're trying to do, because a number of times I've gone off the edge, especially on this course too in Wales. I've done it so many times. I also find with these F2 kit cars that what works better for me is actually using the handbrake a lot more to bring the back end around. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do or not, but that's what I end up doing with a lot. Caution jump maybe? Okay. But that's why I find myself doing a lot, because I don't know why, but just the tail end doesn't kick around the same way the rear-wheel drive cars do. And around the turns, you really got to be careful, because if I put my foot down around a corner, you basically go towards the edge, as opposed to the tail end whipping around, which is kind of annoying actually. And I haven't driven these F2 kit cars much at all, and that makes it even more difficult because I don't know how they react in comparison to some of the other cars. Four-wheel drive cars act a little differently than front-wheel drive cars, so it's always funny to see how you're going to do in one versus the other. So most of my driving experience thus far has been with rear-wheel and four-wheel drive cars so far. I haven't done much on the front-wheel drive cars.
logs inside.
And what happens is, I just don't like driving them, so I just don't. And then that just means I don't get any better at them. Oh, careful, careful. So I just don't get any better at them, which is kind of... Oh, that's close. See what I mean? But, I almost did the same thing again, jeez. Hairpin left. So yeah, part of the... I could blame it on two things, but let's just say I'm rusty. No. I just need more practice with this type of car. Like it is in all racing games. You get the more practice you get in like one particular car, the better you get. There we go. It's funny when you start when you slow down like that, the guy, your co-pilot or your co-driver, actually talks slower because you've slowed down. Well, this car is really fast, but I'm not going very fast with it, but I'm making mistakes with it anyways, basically. So, all right. But some people who've never played this game think, "Wow, that's awesome! You're doing great." But in reality, if I compare myself to other people, and you watch what they're able to do, whoa! I wasn't paying attention. Darn. And you compare that to like other people. Like I've gone off the track like 4 times now and had to reset. So that's like what, 40 seconds? More than 40 seconds. So that's where it really adds up. Like really half the time on this game it's about not going off the course and just staying on the course and going as fast as possible without going off the course. And sometimes that's a lot more difficult than you would think. Open hairpin right, alright. Yeah, but definitely you really can't put your foot down much. Especially with this car, it seems like this one's a bit, it's peppy. Which going in a straight line is fine, but if you want to try and go around the corners, not so good in the corners. Oh, I've done that many times before too. Especially on this course where there's like, they have like the raised sides of the course. And what happens is you ding those and like you'll pop a tire or you'll get bumped off the course like I did there. And it really makes it interesting. Especially at night as well. There we go. Now the funny thing is, I think at this stage in the game, I don't know how many courses we have left. Because we basically, I think, did 12 events. And there's 2 stages per event. That's how we have it set up at the moment. So, I actually missed a few events over Easter. So I don't think I have a chance in winning. And the guy I'm racing against, he usually does better than I do in most of the races. The only races I can beat him on like regularly are like the old 1960s vehicles, for whatever reason. Like he's racing, I think he's in the Masters class now. The Masters class, I think, and he's racing 2010 vehicles, I want to say it is. So, I'm only in the professional, I haven't got up to the Masters yet, although I haven't worked on that in a while. Alright. This is one of the long ones, I think, in... Whoa, 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 whoa. This must be one of the longer ones in Wales. Whoa. Because usually, like, you can have like, well, the way the leak set up is like, I tried to make it so there's like, if there's only one long one, and there might be one long and one short, basically, or like a sprint circuit. So, all right, here's the end here. Let's see how we did. Pretty terrible, I'm assuming, honestly, just because of 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Yeah, that's not great. I'm in first place just because he hasn't finished the race yet. He might do it this morning. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, so this was where was this? We were in the night. It was overcast, and we were in Wales. with the Peugeot 306 Maxi. So we had lights for the first a little bit, but didn't work out so well. Anyways, folks, that's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed. My name's Ian Ralphs, and if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more Dirt Rally action. Catch you guys later.